Hey there, this is Chad Garber, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to play Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. I'm going to show you 12 parts, and that's not even all the parts. That doesn't include the solos and a couple other parts. But here are the 12 parts I'm going to show you. Second part is third part is and on that part, on the second time around, it goes. Okay. Fourth part is. Okay. Fifth part is. Sixth part is. Seventh part is. Eighth part is. Ninth part is. Tenth part is. 11th part is. 12th part is. And there's other parts, but those are the ones I'm going to show you. So, this is a lot of work. I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out each part. And so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see these kind of videos. If you want me to spend this amount of time working on them, it becomes a lot of work. So anyway, first part, okay. I use my middle finger and I bend the third fret of the low E, bending it down. Then I pick down on the A, open A. Then I use my middle finger again to pick the third fret of the A. And then I pick open D down. And all the times you do the third fret of the E and the A, you kind of bend it. Okay, then I pick down use my my pointer finger on the first fret of the D, and then pick up with my middle finger hitting the second fret of the D. So it's. Here's the strange part. Okay, what I do is strange is I use my ring finger to hit the third fret of the E on the way down. And then I go back to my middle finger when I hit the third fret of the E. I'm at the third fret of the A. And then you hit that open A 3 times. When I hit the third fret of the A, what I'm saying is I use my middle finger instead of my ring finger for some reason. I was using my middle finger, my ring finger for the top. So. Then you go back to the open D, and that same little riff. So open D down. Yeah, open down, and then open D down. Put your pointer fret on the first fret of the D. Pick that down, and then pick up on the second fret of the D with your middle finger. So the whole part is. So again, third fret, I'm going to tell you the notes just to make sure I got all the notes there. So third fret, what you're going to pick down on is the third fret of the low E. You're going to pick on the open A. Then to pick the 3rd fret of the A. I mean, the first one was the 3rd fret of the open E, then it was the open A, and then it was the 3rd fret of the A. Then the open D, and then those two, the 1st fret of the D and the 2nd fret of the D. Open D. Then you go to the 3rd fret of the E after that. Then you hit the open A 3 times. The 3rd fret of the A again. And then you hit the open D, the 1st fret of the D and the 2nd fret of the D. And then back to the 3rd fret of the E. And the one time I'm doing picking down, except for when I hit the 2nd fret of the D, I'm picking up. I'm doing an alternate, so I'm going, yeah, so I'm picking up. And then when I hit the open A 3 times, I'm doing an alternate picking. So open, down, up, down. So other than that, I'm doing down picks. And he does use, you know, I listened to the song and I watched him play it live, Jimmy Page, and he does use those open strings. He does. I was trying to do it up here before, but he does do it the open strings. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part is the same thing, except you're going to go to the 7th fret of the low E. Then you're going to pick that, and then you're going to use your middle finger or your ring finger, and then you're going to pick the 5th fret of the A with your pointer finger. Slide the pointer finger up to the 7th fret of the A. Then you're gonna go. So you're gonna pick down on that 7th fret of the A. Then you're gonna pick up on the 8th fret of the A. Actually, you're gonna hit that. I'm sorry. You're gonna hit the 7th fret of the A twice. Both picking down. I'm sorry, you hit it once. I'm sorry, you hit the 7th fret of the A once. Pick it down once. Then you hit pick up on the 8th fret of the A with using your middle finger, and then the 9th, pick down on the 9th fret of the A using your ring finger. Picking down on that one, like I said. You can do it different ways. I'm just telling you one way to pick it. So then you pick down on the 5th fret of the low E. Then you hit the 7th fret of the E 3 times using the alternate picking. Back up, and you go back to the 5th fret of the A. And back to you do that same progression where you get the first, use your pointer finger on the 5th fret or the 7th fret of the A, picking down, and then your middle finger on the 8th fret of the A, picking up, and your ring finger on the 9th fret of the A, picking up, picking down. And then when he goes into the next part, instead of hitting the 5th fret of the E, he ends up on the 7th fret of the E. So actually, he does it like this. So he only does a whole progression once there. And again, ending on the 7th fret of the E and not the 5th fret. Okay, like the normal goes. Okay, and then he goes back to the beginning part. Okay, the next part is a bar chord. Do it any way you want to. What I do is I do it by going. I put my pointer finger on the 5th fret of the low E, and my middle finger on the 7th fret of the A, my pinky on the 7th fret of the D. And you don't even need you can just do a bar chord. You can just do the put your pointer on the 5th fret of the E and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the A, and just play those two strings. And then you slide that up to the 8th fret of the low E with your pointer finger and your ring finger on the 10th fret of the A. Actually, the guitar doesn't do that part, but the bass does, theoretically, but I do it because it sounds better. It sounds like, you know, it sounds stupid just to go. So anyway, so I go. And then you hit the, you put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and I cover up the 7th fret of the B, the D, the G, and the B strings. And I hit the A, the D, the G, and the B strings together. Then it goes back to the first chord. So. Then it goes back to the 5th chord, or the 2nd chord. Okay, the second time around, what he does there, he goes. And all that is you're doing the 5th fret. You got your pointer finger on the 8th fret of the low E, and your ring finger on the 10th fret of the A, and you go. Okay. So that is, I don't even know what part we're on anymore. I think that's 4. That's the 4th part, okay? And then he goes, 3rd part actually. Then he goes back. Wait, that was the 4th part again. Yeah, that's the 3rd part, okay? 4th part is you go, that same chord I just told you about, putting your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D, and, you know, putting it over the G, the D, the G, and the B on the 7th fret. You go back and forth between that one. And that one, the bar chord at the beginning, which is your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the low E, and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D. Okay, so that's the 4th part. The next part is the same thing as you did earlier, but it's going to be on the, you're going to start on the, so this 5th part, you're going to put your ring finger starting on the 8th fret of the E string, and do that same pattern. Look at the pattern you did earlier on this part. You're going to copy that exact same pattern, just starting on the 8th fret instead of the 7th fret of the E. So that was so 4th, 5th, 4th, that's the 5th. The 6th part is you move that same exact pattern up 2 frets and do the same thing. So in other words, you're starting on the 10th fret of the low E and doing it then. 7th part is you move that sucker up 2 more frets, but you're starting on the 12th fret of the low E and doing the same pattern. Okay, the 8th part is you're going to take your middle finger and you put it on the 3rd fret of the B, 3rd fret of the B, and you're going to do a pull off. So you're picking down, pulling off, picking down again. Over and over again to make it sound like this. And then you're going to pick up on the high E, open. So basically you're picking down and doing a pull off to this rhythmic pattern. And you end up by pulling on the low E. And then, so you do that. So that's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And the 9th, okay, then it goes in the guitar solo, which I'm not going to go through. The 9th part is this. Such a cool part. And all that is, you put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string and your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the B string, and then you strum the top from the A down. Then you take your that middle finger and put it on the what I do is I put my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and I put my middle finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and play all the same strings. And then you take my middle finger and put it on the 5th fret of the D string, and my ring finger on the 5th fret of the B string. And then I slide it up to do the same thing. Slide up 2 frets where my middle finger's on the 5th fret of the D string, or 7th fret of the D string, and my ring finger's on the 7th fret of the B string, and then I go back down. Alright, so that's the 9th part, I think. I don't know, the 7th, 8th, 9th, yeah. The 10th part is, so that's going on, so you go, it's supposed to be the 10th part. Open A, pick down on with your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A, ring finger, pick down on the 4th fret of the A, what I do is I use my pinky to hit the 5th fret of the D string. Use my ring finger to hit the 4th fret of the D string. And then use my pointer finger to hit the 2nd fret of the D string. I'm sorry, the D string. So 5th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the D string, and 2nd fret of the D string. So open A, 3rd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the A string, and then the 5th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the D string. In this pattern. Okay? And then he does this part, which is the 11th part. Twice. So all that is you go from the 5th fret of the low E to the 2nd fret of the low E. Sorry, to the 3rd fret. From the 5th fret of the low E to the 3rd fret of the low E. Pick it all down. I use my ring finger and my pointer finger. And then I pick down with my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the A. And then back to the 5th fret of the E with my ring finger, and then back to the 3rd fret of the E. And back to the 5th fret of the E string, pick it down. The second time around, he goes from the 5th fret of the E with a ring finger to the 3rd fret of the A this time. Back to the 5th fret of the E. Then back to the 3rd fret of the D. Hopefully I'm saying all this right. If I'm not, hopefully you can figure it out. Back to the 5th fret of the low E. And back to the 3rd fret of the low E. That whole part is, I think he does it twice. He only does it once. Okay, so then you do an A bar chord. This is the last part, the 12th part. Put your pointer finger on the 1st fret or the 5th fret of the E, your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D, and then go. Okay, there's more going on in that part. There's like a guitar solo obviously going on, but there's also, I think, a couple other different guitars doing some different chords that I don't think I nailed, but that's all I'm going to do for now. So thank you so much for watching. If you like these kind of videos or this video, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so thank you so much for watching this video, and have fun jamming with Led Zeppelin.